waiting on. Okay.
All right. Welcome to Tales from the Flipside. This is our show, Deal or Flipside. So let's play our little intro clip real quick, and then we'll introduce all the players. Deal or. All right. So we have some special guests from the community. Let's go ahead and start with James.
Hey guys.
From Hive Comics. All right. Who else do we have here today? Well, we have Thorough, keeping it real, right?
You already know, man. It's your boy Thorough from Keep It Thorough Comics. But listen, man, really appreciate this invite to the flip side, Tales for the Flip Side, man. You guys are doing some great stuff here, bro. So really honored to be here today. And yeah, man, I'm waiting. I have no idea what the hell's gonna happen here tonight. So I'm waiting and looking forward to it.
Oh, hey, this is Phil with Vintage Comics and Toys.com.
And who else do we have here?
This is Joe, Red Hood Comic, your friendly neighborhood comic presser.
And Sean Big Leg, doing a little Instagram series on Masters of the Universe comics. So threw up a hashtag this time, like I did on Monday. Also, you can watch Tales from Flipside on Monday. And do that every single Monday.
Nice. I got Tony from Blue Green Artifacts. Welcome, Thorough. Welcome, James. Good to have some fresh blood in here. Let's have some fun.
Cool. And I am Aaron. I had to put on the suit and tie for this show, so why not? And then you can also catch me on Comic Book Food Chain, which went live yesterday. We actually had Joe on to talk about pressing. So, as I will say, best presser in Texas.
I saw that. Great show, guys.
Oh, thank you. All right. So this is our title card for this. And let's bring up our first set of books. All right. So all our picks today are from the community. This is from Rob's Comics. So, Rob, you can catch him on our foreign show that happens every so often. We have Out of This World number 17, which is a UK reprint of Amazing Fantasy 15, and then we also have the Amazing Fantasy 15 Turkish edition with Miles and Gwen on it. This is a 9/8 signature series. The Out of This World sold for $577, and the Amazing Fantasy sold for $999 as a buy it now. Who wants to kick it off? Leg, you want to kick it off?
Let me see. I mean, first of all, who signed that? Some dude in Turkey?
Yeah. Here, let me pull up. Let me pull it up and then see if I can find it while y'all discuss.
All right. Yeah. At least Dan. Whoever signed it, man, just I'm gonna go with the I'm just gonna go with the 9/8. I mean, let's pretend. I'll even pretend. Let's say they're both $600. I'll go with it. I know this is Rob's forte, his wheelhouse, everything like that, and I appreciate learning a lot of this stuff. So, just because it's a 9/8, I suppose I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the Amazing Fantasy. But it is pretty cool because I did not know that the first UK Spider-Man was Out of This World 17. I would never have known if it wasn't for this, or unless they did it on one of the shows that I watched. So I'm gonna go 9. I'm gonna go 9.8.
All right. So it was signed by CELAL Koch, CELAL KOC.
Never mind. I'm going with the other one.
And then, as a side note, it does say distributed with a sticker attached to back cover. So I'm surprised it still hit a 9/8.
It's on the back cover?
Yeah, it's on the back cover.
I guess if they all did.
Cool. Yeah, I'm done. I'll keep the 9/8.
All right. What do you think? Keep it thorough.
All right, so I'm man. Listen, Miles Morales is on that cover right there on that 9/8 Amazing Fantasy 15 Turkish. I'm gonna go down that same route. You just can't beat Miles. Everything with Miles on it is just selling through the roof. As far as Out of This World, I knew about this book. It's not my personal favorite. I mean, it's because of the cover. Yes, it has the first UK Spider-Man from Amazing Fantasy 15 in there. A great damn book if you can't afford an AF-15. Great damn book, but yeah, the cover just kind of kills it for me. Not too big of a fan of the cover, but yeah, all day on that Amazing Fantasy 15 Turkish variant with Miles on it and Spider-Gwen. So you can't beat that, man. I think that book's going to continue to climb. I've seen this book steadily climbing up from the $500 range and just keep on going up. So glad to see this one. I'd be interested to see what this one will be in a couple of months. And when it price wise, is it going to go over $1,000 mark? And we can only see. But yeah, that'll be my pick, bro. Definitely go with that one.
All right, Tony, what you got for us?
Every time I see a book that Rob posts, it's something I've never seen before. I don't think I've seen either one of these specifically. I'm gonna probably go with the Amazing Fantasy 15. Again, it's a 9.8. I hate storing that magazine size for the Out of This World. I don't have any logic or great wisdom behind it, but I'm just leaning toward the Amazing Fantasy 15. If I learn more about that Out of This World, maybe I'm making a mistake there, but yeah, we'll go with the slab.
Yeah, I'm with the rest of the guys. I've never heard of Out of This World, AF-15 UK, and man, that cover is unique. But I got to go with Spider-Gwen and Miles all day long, man. It's a 9.8. It's already slabbed. It's ready to go if you want to sell it. So yeah, AF-15 Turkish edition.
I follow Thoro's sentiment on it. I think I love the old school covers. I do, but Miles on a cover, there's definitely something to be said for the Miles effect on any Marvel book right now, and it makes it really easy to get rid of if you needed to. It's an easy sell. There's definitely going to be a bigger market to get rid of it. So my pick would definitely be the AF-15.
All right, Phil, what do you think?
Yeah, I think, this Turkish variant just recently popped, and it reminds me of the book we had last week, the Incredible Hulk annual king size annual one, and that was like a record price in that 9.8 gold label. Out of This World 17, I didn't know about this book, honestly. When it comes to foreign books, I try not to be a foreign snob, but if it's printed in English, right, that helps a lot with the spec. People are gravitating towards vintage foreigns. Hey, you know what? It's a horror book, sci-fi. It looks like horror sci-fi. I'll change it up. I'll invest, pay a little bit cheaper, and maybe maybe this one pops for $1,500 sometime next year or something. I don't know how rare it is, but if it can get that label where it says first UK Spider-Man, I'm all about that. So I'll try that out. My final answer, Out of This World 17.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you also with the Out of This World, but the only reason probably why is because I bought into the Amazing Fantasy 15 Turkish edition like super early on. So I bought it from the publisher from Turkey. It took forever to get to my house. The seller, he's on eBay, and I thought it was kind of interesting about that. It's limited to 250. It's smaller than a modern comic. It's more. I want to say it's slightly bigger than like an ash can, and so I thought it was it's pretty cool I haven't sent it out for grading yet, but I should probably consider doing that, seeing prices the way they are right now for it. So,
What did you pay, Aaron?
I want to say I paid like $20.
Oh, man.
And then shipping, I think, was like another 10 or 20.
And the comment from someone in the chat there, Luke said there's only of the AF-15 there. There were only 250 printed.
Yeah.
Wow.
So with me that I can't imagine there's too many of those out of this world floating around either, to be honest with you. But I mean, just to call it 250, I mean that's a sweet spot in comics for print runs. That's pretty low. So,
well, especially with Marvel, like I think it's only the foreign publishers that are allowed to do like less than the 3,000 trade and the 1,000 virgins. So I always thought that was kind of interesting. All right. Let's see what else Rob has for us. I know he threw me a few picks this week, so I think this one is pretty interesting. So we have a Sideshow Spider-Man Miles Morales premium format exclusive that sold for $600 versus a Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales custom statue, Madness Bowen scaled. So that sold for $550. James, let's kick it off with you this time.
I don't do statues, but that Sideshow, the one on the top with Venom trying to eat him as he leaps over, that's pretty awesome. I dig the iconic imagery of the bottom one, that the heroic standing pose, but that one on the top, that one's legitimately an awesome statue. So, and it's one, I mean, Venom has a lot of interaction with Miles in the future, anything like that too. I mean, it could be one that collectors are hunting down as a statue. So
cool. Yeah. I agree with James at Hive Comics. Premium format exclusives, I mean, they're pretty desirable. I'm not sure if this one has a limited number amount. Bowen's coming back. Like the older, like vintage Bowen, like statues from the 90s are on their way up. They've been on their way up since last year. Sideshow is the trend, and I like to buy the trend and the brands that pump out the new toys and figures and stuff. This is seen before on the toy market, so I'd grab that one.
All right, Joe.
You guys got me.
Right.
So I got Miles Morales premium format exclusive for Sideshow.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm with Phil. I mean, it's just if I'm going to get a statue, it's going to be one like in action. I mean, it's a lot going on. Kind of reminds me of like Boba Fett climbing out of the Sarlacc pit or something like that. That's what it kind of looks like to me. But I mean, it's just a cool action pose. I got to go with that. The Bowen's awesome. It reminds me of the old Spider-Man Bowen statues, but I got to go with Sideshow.
All right. All right, Tony, what do you think? I think you're muted right now.
Yeah, there we go. I'm speaking as the guy who's got 2 kids under 10, and I'm looking at that statue on the top thinking, wow, those tendrils are going to snap off like nothing. Just look at it wrong and it's going to fall apart. So I think they're great. They're both great statues. I think on a bookshelf, I wouldn't mind having that top or the Bowen. So I'll go against the grain. I'll go with the Bowen scaled on the bottom. But just like you were saying, James, I'm not a statue guy. Every once in a while, I try to dip my toes into a different arena of collecting. So I've got a sideshow, a couple of sideshows that I picked up this last year, but I got nowhere to display them. They're just hard to sell, hard to ship. So it's statue collecting probably isn't for me, but if I get a nice place to display it, I'd maybe go with the bottom one. Final answer.
Cool.
All right, and for me, It's gonna be.
Yep.
I like that sideshow all day long. Again, man, it's a beautiful action piece. I'm an action figure collector. I'm not a big statue collector. I got a couple, but again, I got a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. So yeah, that sideshow would probably be in pieces if they ever got their hands on it.
Yeah,
I definitely would have to put it somewhere high and away from them. The one on the bottom, the Bowen, is dope. Like my man James up there said, heroic stance. I think it's really dope. I'd probably, for my own benefit of not losing any tentacles or whatever, I'd probably have to go with the Bowen. I'm gonna go against everybody else just for the fact that I had 2 young kids. So I still think that's a dope one. But again, if you guys are talking about investment, it's like it was just being talked about. Super hard to move statues. Super hard. So I'd stay away from it. But again, if you want to have something to display, definitely I'd buy that top one all day long. But for me, it'd be the Bone with the kids.
Yeah, I like both of them. I'm definitely, when I buy stuff, I buy toys rather than the figures. It's honestly just a sort of a display thing with me. So I would go with whichever one has a smaller box, so I can store it better in my house. But no, seriously, I like both. I'd probably go with the Bone. I do like the pose. I like both of them. I definitely like the action stuff, but I like the way it's set up. You know what I mean? I've always liked Miles' mask with the black and the red. So I'd go with the bottom one there and the Bowen.
Yeah. For me, I think I would have to go with the Sideshow statue, just because Sideshow has that, that reputation. Like, when you go to a Comic-Con, you see their booth, like, like it's a Sideshow piece, versus like, someone that's making a custom statue out of, I'm guessing maybe even like a Diamond Direct, or is Bowen an actual like statue company? I'm not sure. But anyways, yeah. So my choice would be the Sideshow, because like a lot of those like are limited to a certain number, and then they end up increasing in price as more people demand them. So I think the brand recognition is there for that.
Yeah.
So
we're kind of joking about it with a little bit with the kids and the tendrils, but now that I think about it, my LCS does a lot of statues. They do a lot of figures. They actually, last year they got in, not that one, but it's a Venom Sideshow. It's huge with a lot of tendrils like that. When they open it fresh out of the box, 4 of them had snapped already.
Oof.
So I gotta imagine if you have one that's intact, that's going to be valuable. But yeah, trying to move it or trying to sell it, get it anywhere without breaking, good luck.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to our next item, which I think we're going back to comics, and this is also from Rob. So we have a Outlawed number 1, 9.8. That's a 1 in 50. That's sold for $1,000. And then we have a Minty Ultimate Fallout number 4, Lamole variant, that's sold for $1,050.
That's spearmint or peppermint?
Spearmint.
Okay.
All right. Who wants to kick us off?
I'll go. I'm going the UF4. I know Tony will like that choice. The Outlawed, it's fine. I know it's supposedly rare. They haven't done a lot of aftermarket Marvel sales and stuff like that. So, it was a sort of a tougher book to get. I think it was one of, it says it right in front of me, 1 in 50. So yeah, it's a nice book. I'm glad that they're all together, I suppose. But as the other Miles books sort of just keep going up and out, and worth more and more. Although there's fluctuation, they're sort of stagnant. Second print a little over 1,000, and it's going to be between 28 and 32 to get a first print. 9/8 obviously. I'm going to go with Lamole. Plus, it's honestly it's a really pretty version of that book. I haven't not seen one personally in a slab, but I've held them in my hands, and I think I think that foil is a beautiful cover. So I'm definitely going to go the UF4 to the mall.
All right. So for me, I'm gonna have to go against that. Only reason why is because at Outlawed #1, I'm all into rarity. I like rare comics. Yeah, you can't find that. That is a hard ass book to find. And to find it at 9.8, great damn book. Again, I would consider it a bubblegum cover. Got Riri at the bottom with some, blowing some bubblegum up. You got Kamala and you got Miles on there. No costumes in the locker. Really digging that one a lot. As far as the Ultimate Fallout 4, if I were to go with it, if you would have showed me a copy that's a 10-0 of a foil, I'd be on that all day because that'd be the way to go for me on that foil. It'd have to be a 10-0 or even a 9.9, to be honest with you. But yeah, Outlawed #1 all day long just because of the rarity on that book, and you don't find it too often being a 1 in 50. Not too many people cared about this series when it came out. So, not many LCSs out there were ordering 50 or more copies of this book. So, yeah, that's my pick on that.
There were some copies on Diamond, though, that after people brought this to light, that some dealers were able to get for about $2. That they auctioned off pretty quick. But, yeah, you're completely right. It's got to be pretty small print. The guy, Eddie Bear, is saying there's 1,000 a little more. I know, Tony, you got some. Do you think that's correct?
I think so. That's what they say. Honestly, I don't. Any print run numbers from any con I'm a little suspect of, let alone a con that's in Mexico. But supposedly 1,000.
Cool.
All right, I'll jump in. I really want that Outlawed book. I did not. I try to pride myself on getting these up and coming books raw before they blow up completely, and then try to slab 1 or 2 or 3. I didn't get on that train at all. So the fact that like Mel did and everybody who did, I'm jealous of it. I do really want that cover, but I would put these in 2 different categories. The Outlawed book, it is rare. It's got some definitely hot characters. It had a lot of fire, on social media, and still does. But it's not really a key. For that to become like a long-term key, it's going to need to like survive the test of time. You know what I mean? Like these hot variants that shoot up to $1,000, they don't all stay there. Like some of them, like the I don't know, like the Ghost Spider 2, the Lee cover, they really have to prove their value over time, or they'll go down. But the bottom one being, granted, it is a convention variant, but I mean it's a replica of the original cover. It's a beautiful cover. It's limited, probably more limited than any of the other variants, editions of that book. And it's argue what you want about, late printings versus the actual first copy, but for today's standards, it is a first appearance of a huge character. So we've talked about this, that book on Modern Playbook spec list a few weeks ago. I nominated it because I like it, and I'm going to go with that one again. That's my pick.
And so this is a tough one. I mean, I've got UF4s, and and I don't have this Outlawed. I mean, I'm into rarity also, and they're both 9.8. So I mean, honestly, you can't really lose on either one of them. Which one is going to go up higher, man? If I'm going to invest and then try and flip it later, I would go Ultimate Fallout 4. But for me personally, I kind of want that Outlawed. I've wanted it for a while. I had a chance to get it, and I blew it. But as an investor, which one's going to go up faster? It's that Ultimate Fallout 4. Because how much was that book like 2 months ago? Like $500 in a 9.8, 400.
Yeah, they were $400 about 6 weeks ago.
I mean, that book is continuously climbing. And Sean's right, man. Those Lamore books, man, they have a shine on them, and it's pretty slick. I mean, man, uh, if investor wise, flippage, Ultimate Fallout 4, final answer.
What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the UF42. The shiny foil book. It's the type of book that collectors of Miles Morales, modern collectors, they like that type of stuff. And there's 1,000 copies out there, so there's a lot. This book is going to be turned over and flipped a lot. So there's a shot that this wave is going to get more and more, and the price will increase more. So I'm going to do with the UF4 Lamole CGC 98. Final answer.
I thought that the Ultimate Fallout 4 was crazy at $400, and now that it's hit 1,000, I don't know how I feel about that or what I think. I don't know, man. That's just, it's tied so closely, I think, with values of the standard Ultimate Fallout 4, and who knows where that's going. So, I mean, this is a rough decision for me on these ones, to be honest with you. But if I was buying one today, I would buy the Outlawed, and that's just my guts just telling me that book's not near capping out. And I think the Ultimate Fallout 4 could be, but I thought it was at 400 and was way wrong about that. So, I mean, who knows? But I guess if I was forced to buy one of these, it would be Outlawed 1. Just because I think when Kamala and Riri show up, that book's got potential to climb quite a bit higher. But it's definitely not the only book that's had all three of them on the cover. It just might be the hardest one to find. So, but yeah, that's where I'm at, Outlawed 1.
James, I'm going to have to give it to you, man. You have pretty good gut instincts because Outlaw #1 is actually on a dip right now. So about less than a month ago, that book was selling for like $1,500. So how far down it goes, I don't know. You know what I mean? So maybe more people can pick it up for, maybe even at a price tag of like $800 or who knows. I thought it was kind of interesting that both these auctions only had one bid on them. So it's people listing up their book with a reserve, more or less, right?
Yeah.
And I want to say there have been other copies of Ultimate Fallout 4 that have sold a bit higher too. I'm not sure how much more. I just don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, both are really interesting, and it's hard to pick. I'm kind of leaning towards Tony's analysis of the book that he was saying that it depends on what happened. Will Outlaw #1 stand the test of time versus Ultimate Fallout 4? It just keeps on shattering records, almost I don't know. Do we want to say daily at this point, or is it more of a weekly thing that it keeps on going higher and higher? And then the Lamole variant was definitely a good way for people to buy in. Because I think I remember when they first hit the eBay market, they were selling for $40, and then as more people got them in hand, they were starting to sell, and this is raw sales, $40, and then $100 at another time period, and then I was just do I really want to buy in at $100? I didn't pay that much more for a first print, so why would I buy a shiny version of it? I mean, I love shiny stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure we, somewhat all do because of this nostalgia factor of growing up during the 90s and remember chromium covers, foil covers, acetate, whatever you have. So, for me to pick, I think I would wait for Outlaw #1 to dip down a little bit more before I would pull the trigger on that. But something tells me, James. I think James is onto something. Once we see Riri and Kamala, I think we could see another uptick in price of this book because more people will remember. Oh, they're not in costume. Like, how many covers do you have them all three together, not in costume? So I'm gonna go with Outlaw with James. All right.
Yeah. Actually, just today there was a raw of the mole sold for 400. So if 9/8 were going for that,
Yeah,
that's 2 months ago. That's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what we have next. All right. So we're bringing back this classified edition again from Kyle. So I want to thank him. And here are our books for this. I changed it up a little bit more. We chatted after last week's episode, and let's see what information I redacted. So I redacted the entire price, and I want to give a shout out to Aaron on a Discord channel. He sent me a message saying, "Hey, would like to see this comparison." So we have a Werewolf by Night 32 at an 8.5 with off-white to white pages, and the Ultimate Fallout 4, the 1 in 25 variant at a CGC 9.0. James, you want to kick it off?
Yeah. So I'm a sucker for that Werewolf by Night. Man, I don't know. This is like a really, really good one. Man, I don't know. On this one, like, no rhyme or reason behind it, right? Like, I think Werewolf by Night's going to continue to climb and climb and climb. I do think 8.5's kind of you're in a weird spot on grades on those older books at an 8.5. But I would, if it was my money and it was to try and make some more money out of it down the road, I'd end up going to Ultimate Fallout 4, and I would really, really hope that I could press it up from a 9 to a 9.2 or a 9.4. That's where my stance would be on it. But I mean, you couldn't go wrong with either of these. You really couldn't. They're both amazing books. But yeah, I guess Ultimate Fallout 4, the 1 in 25.
Let's ask Nico about bumping up a 9.0. So just joking, if he's watching.
I guess this is made like, God, it's such a tough pick, man. God, I would have to go with Ultimate Fallout 4. And I'm crazy enough just to get it, just so to crack it open and give it a shot. I mean, because I don't have a close-up picture of this, and I don't know how many color breaking issues it has, but I definitely would want to crack at it and at least try and get it bumped up to a 9.4, and then who knows? But yeah, I got to go with the Ultimate Fallout 4, man. First appearance of Miles Morales. It's a rare variant. Man, UF4.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, guys, my kiddo. All right, so, God, I don't know, man. I've been collecting for a long time. I don't have anything against Moon Knight at all. I'm looking forward to the show. I'd love to own all the keys. I don't have a lot of them, but that wasn't my thing. Growing up, it wasn't my thing when I was collecting in college. It wasn't my thing when I got back into it later. So I regret not. I know there's some people probably on this panel who have the Jurdevic, and I hate you. But that's the one I want, man. I wish I was doing the kind of collecting I am now. 6 years ago when I could have picked them up at in a what are those $5
Five
Oh,
Below.
the five and below packs.
Yeah, the
Five
Five
Below
Below
packs.
packs, or probably could have got a 9.8 for like $1,100 or something at the time. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Miles. I got to go with the Miles.
Yeah, so for me, this is a tough one. I'm gonna say that right off the bat. I love Moon Knight, and to get that book in a high grade, I saw somebody in the chat was saying that that's tough. That's tough. But then that freaking Ultimate Fallout, man, that Jurjevich is just a beast of a book. And no matter what the hell grade you get that damn book in, it just freaking every time I look at it, another sale, and it just keeps going up. On this one, I'm gonna have to go with this Ultimate Fallout. I honestly believe Miles guy has legs for days, so it's just gonna keep on running. As far as the Werewolf by Night, I know some folks may want to crucify me over this, but I really do not believe in any of these shows that are coming out on Disney Plus that are that are Marvel based. To be honest with you, and I know a lot of folks are like Oscar Isaac. Listen, I hated this dude playing in freaking X-Men. He looked like fucking Ivan Ooze, pardon my language. But I just can't see that dude still playing freaking Moon Knight. I just don't have good feelings about it. Again, it is a nostalgic book. Everybody would love to have that. I was just having a conversation with somebody here in the chat too, and yeah, they're saying, hey, get those books before they go up. A lot of these, these crazy first appearances are going crazy, right? And yeah, I mean that'll be the correct move. But for me, it has to be on a basis of, hey, I'm investing in something. It's probably going to have to be that Ultimate Fallout. Again, Oscar Isaac is the one that's really killing it for me on this Moon Knight. But Werewolf by Night, again, just a tough choice. But yeah, Ultimate Fallout for me all day.
I knew it.
You knew I was bringing it back, right? You knew I was bringing it back. I can always reach werewolf shit no matter where I'm at in my office. That being said, here's the deal. Like that, those.
It's your debit then, right?
Well, my reasoning is probably a little different. I do find a 9.0 to me in a modern book is a pretty low grade, and an 8.5 to me in that particular book, without checking the census, is a pretty high grade. Werewolf collector. So I mean, not necessarily slabs, but it's my goal to get very fine or better at a reasonable price of the whole series of Werewolf by Night and his Marvel Spotlights and such over the years. And I've only been willing to pay cheap. So I know a lot about the series. I actually never had a number 32. I just kept waiting to find. I'm not saying I thought I'd find one for $20 and very fine or something like that. I never thought that. But the other books later in the series, it's been an issue. So those things being thumped, that Werewolf series not really being taken care of. 8.5 is a really high grade for that book to me. Probably somewhat jaded, still having UF4s and having had a lot of them in the past without Five Below. One of the warehouse dealers was here in California, and he had just stacks of them unbagged, or well, they're bagged, but he'd have a bunch of them in like a magazine bag. And he'd and so I'd pick one up usually from him at every show for about $75. And then I'd end up auctioning on eBay and making money when I'd run like Sunday auctions a few times a year. So I feel like I've seen the Djurjevic so many times. And a lot of us were wrong, completely wrong, because we thought that the Five Below packs were definitely going to kill the value, which they actually did for a while, but this is way before Edge of Spider-Verse and such. So, and way before he just became the hero, and before that book became the modern Hulk 181. So, I've had dealers send me like 30 copies at a time to press. So I'm probably a little more jaded towards, not jaded because I love the book. I have a book. I'm sad that I sold so many, but I'm glad that I still have it. You know what I mean? So I don't know the difference in the prices. I would imagine, I think 9.2 went up to almost to like $5,000. So May 1st and 9.0 was probably a little less than that, but May 1st was really hot compared to June 23rd. So the prices probably are similar here. I'm gonna take the Werewolf by Night because there's a bunch of them, and in high grade it's just gonna keep going up. I think, not that I don't think the Ultimate Fallout 4 is. I just think there's I think 8.5 is a lot higher grade than the 9.0. So I'm gonna go with the Werewolf, not just because of the mask, and even though a werewolf won that fight.
Well, a werewolf might come and bite you if you didn't choose it, right?
Maybe so. I don't know. You never know. I'm still scared of them. That's why I collect them.
Gotcha. All right. Let's see if Phil is around to maybe answer. Yep. What you got, Phil? I guess not.
Bye, Phil.
All right.
See you, Phil.
I made the slides, and I don't even remember what the prices are. I literally made this like 2 hours ago, like grabbing prices and for the books for comparison, and I still don't remember. I want to say they were around the same price, but yeah, I mean, listen to everyone's reasons. Like, it makes it hard to go last, to choose something. But I tend to agree with Sean's attitude about the, at that age of book, an 8.5, you would consider that a high grade versus like a modern book at a 9.0, even though it is a 1 in 25 on the up and rising book, like that's, seems to like just shatter all kinds of records all the time. But, there are some books that have, popped off a little bit more too with Disney Plus shows. Will Moon Knight continue that trend? We would have to see. It just depends, I guess. And then, do we even know that if this book will be, what the show is, kind of based off of? I mean, I've seen a lot of promo pics and stuff like that, and it seems like they're trying to gravitate more towards like some of the modern runs, especially like you had the actor with the different covers in the background and stuff like that of where they're grabbing inspiration from. So, but it's a first appearance is a first appearance. So let's go with the Werewolf by Night.
So wait, so I found the prices if you don't have them.
Oh no, I do.
Okay.
Okay. Phil, do you want to choose a book? Oh, all right.
Bye,
and
Phil.
So here are the prices of the books and the bids. So the Werewolf by Night 32 sold for $4,808.91. The Ultimate Fallout 4 1 in 25 sold for $4,950. So
yeah, it's pretty similar.
Pretty similar in price, and then I mean, again, that is a lot of money to spend on a single book. I think my money would be better like investing almost into the collection at this point, though, right? If you're going to spend that much money,
possibly. I mean, they're both liquid.
That's true.
They're both always going to be liquid, I think. So
cool. Let's see. All right. So we got another set of books from Palveron, my friend Trey, and he told me like, hey, why don't we compare a New Mutants 98 newsstand versus the Wolverine #1 Campbell Deadpool variant. I was like, that's a pretty good comparison. I'll see if I can find some pretty relatively close prices. This is the best I could do. So a New Mutants 98 9.8 newsstand shipped from Australia, sold for $5,200. This is not the Australian edition. It was actually the US edition. And then we have Wolverine #1 at a 9.6, yellow labeled. I want to say it's just J. Scott Campbell's signature on there. So that sold for $4,350. Let's start with Phil.
Yeah. So sorry, I got skipped out on the last one, but I'll take Werewolf by Night 32. I'll take Oscar Isaac over Harry Potter any day, and ride that property. And I'll go with New Mutants 98, CGC 98, first Deadpool. I'll just ride the wave on that one. We know we're gonna have more and more Deadpool. It's not just gonna be like that. Oh yeah, he's gonna be in for that one appearance in the MCU. We're gonna see like Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. We're gonna see Deadpool in X-Men. I think it's still got some legs, and this newsstand trend is still pretty much in the beginning. So I'll roll the dice and do first Deadpool.
If that's me, I'm going. Yeah, I'm going Deadpool. I love the Campbell. I had it once at a 9.2. Cracked it, cleaned it, pressed it. Came back in 9.2. There's little damages to that book. The top right, especially, there are little white dots. So 9.6 is pretty high in that. I don't know if that got a bump for the signature series or not, as it tended to used to do in the past. I really think that it's a spectacular book. I'm gonna throw out the fact that I have a 98 and still choose it. Do love the Wolverine Campbell Deadpool signature, but I mean, if you're gonna put one away in a safe deposit box for 20 years, I'm going with the first Deadpool on the newsy. You know, I might as well spend twice that and get a Mark Jewelers. But for the Wolverine's a great book. I mean, I don't know how well the ink's always going to hold up on these covers for all the future and stuff like that on some of these signature series stuff that are encased that way that can't breathe. But I mean, I don't want to downplay the significance of this Wolverine Campbell #1. I think it's spectacular. I think it's one of the best variants ever created. I love the way that it came about. Strictly for long term, I'm going to take New Mutants 98, but I'd love to have that Wolverine one back.
All right, man. That Wolverine one is freaking fire. Another damn tough book. All black. We all know how that freaking ends up. And one of the things that I freaking hate are signatures, to be honest with you. I know there's a lot of folks that collect signatures. I'm not a fan of it. I actually used to have artists sign on the inside of the damn book if I wanted something signed, because I'm not a fan at all of having the art on the outside getting tagged up by somebody. I don't care if it's even the artist. That's just my personal preference. Again, long-term investment. Yeah, that New Mutants 98 newsstand will be all day. I mean, that book still has lots of legs on it. Who knows how far freaking Deadpool is going to run alongside in the MCU and where they're going to take it from here on in. So, yeah, I'm going to go to New Mutants 98, make it nice and easy. That Wolverine one, man, I'm going to have to say it too. Yeah, that's a badass book. I would love to have it, but damn, shit. When I saw this back in the days, I thought this book was, loan at $900 when I saw it initially was a lot. Now, I mean, the 9.6 signed, $43.50. Crazy.
Yeah, those are crazy numbers, man. As a seller, I got to go with New Mutants because that's a liquid book. You could buy it. You could sell that any day of the week. As a long term, I'm still going to go with the New Mutants. After this next Deadpool movie, it's hard to tell what will they do? Is there going to be some sort of adult version of or 18 plus version of Disney Plus, and maybe Deadpool could launch that with a series or something like that. I would think Ryan Reynolds would stick around for as long as he can, just because it's his character now, basically. I love that Wolverine book. I do not own one. I want to own one, but someone's got to explain to you why that Wolverine book is as awesome as it is. It is awesome, but it like you got to understand the story behind it a little bit to grasp why that's a $4,000 book. And you don't need that with Deadpool. I know there's a million of them out there, but I don't think it matters. So I'm going New Mutants 98. Final answer. What you got, Joe?
I'm going newsstand, New Mutants 98 all day, man. J. Scott Campbell's probably one of my favorite artists, and I'd love to have that book, but man, 98 newsstands, I mean, all day. Final answer.
That Wolverine one, in my opinion, is one of Campbell's best covers. But I think there's two reasons why New Mutants 98's the stronger one. I think the first one is, the economics of comics is supply and demand, and more exposure equals more demand. And I think we're going to get that. I think we're going to get that with Deadpool. I think we're going to get more and more exposure to Deadpool, which is going to bring more interest into his first appearance. So I think demand increases as supply decreases because these are going to go into collectors' hands and never leave. I also think that as collectors or speculators, like it's not maybe not always about making money, but it's definitely always about not losing money. And that Wolverine one, to me, like I get why it's that price, but I also would not be surprised if it was half that price down the road. I also wouldn't be surprised if it was twice that price either. But I think that New Mutants 98, I don't think it's going down. I don't think that one's. I think that's a solid book, and I think it just continues to grow. So that's New Mutants 98 for me for sure.
Yeah. So when Trey sent me this, I was like, man, like I'm a huge Deadpool fan, and I don't have the Wolverine one, and looking up prices, I was just like I was like, whoa, what are Blue Labels going for? So a Blue Label 9.8 currently, like two within the last, I want to say 2 months, have sold each for $10,000 for a 9.8 Blue Label. Like completely insane, right? Like that is crazy to me. I mean, but we can also say the same thing about New Mutants 98, even in newsstand versions. Like before the movie announcement of Deadpool 3, prices had settled down again after Deadpool 2. Like I want to say right before the movie announcement, like that was selling for easily like $850, $750, like for 9.8s, newsstand or direct. Like people didn't care either or, and that book is always liquid because there's tons on the market. But I mean, for prices where they are right now, it's just it boggles my mind, like almost like where it's like, I have a direct copy of New Mutants 98 and the newsstand. Both are 9.6s, and it kind of makes me like want to consider like, do I sell one and keep one? Especially like with, as we see like the price, the price I bought in at and then like what what the potential is, like it's just crazy to me. So, until I see something I really, really want, I'm going to hold on to both until closer to the movie and stuff like that. So, but with this choice, I'm going to have to agree with Thorough. Like, if I want a signature on this Wolverine one, like I'm just going to get a Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe #2 and have J. Scott Campbell sign it. instead of instead of a Wolverine 1, you know, it's a cheaper route. You know, I don't have to, you know, graffiti tag a super rare book. And then from my understanding that like there's actually quite a bit signed compared to like a blue label. Does anyone on the panel know if that's accurate? Or I don't remember, but I think I've heard that somewhere.
There's a good amount signed.
Okay.
Yeah, that to me the the Grail for that Wolverine 1 is a 9.8 blue label for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, but even then, at these prices, I think I would still buy the 9.6 because hearing what blue labels sell for, like that's, you know, that's crazy. So
At least it's not as bad as the new Campbells, because the new Campbell, when he signs them to the cons, it's literally so he's got the signature printed that he did on the art, and then they have the J. Scott Campbell logo printed, which has his signature, and then he signs his name this freaking big on the whole thing. So it's like, how many times do I need to see this dude's signature on a regular ass like convention, or just like one from his jscottcampbell.com? You know what I mean? There's way too many. At least this just has like a little signature and then the big one.
Yeah.
And it's like, how much do you love yourself that you need to sign that fucking big on every book?
And there's bound to be like 2 more like on the back. So
yeah, somewhere for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's see what we have next. I think this is our last set of books. So yeah, I just want to remind everyone to make sure to tune in to our Modern Playbook Roundtable. We have a pretty good session with Digging In with Dollar. That will premiere either that will probably premiere Saturday or Sunday morning, depending on when I get around to editing. So I also want to say, yep, and that was it. So any final thoughts from James or Thorough?
Check me out. Check out the books we do at hive-comics.com. I don't know, those of you guys that have been customers of ours and pay attention know that we put out a new variant every single weekend. Some more often than not, it's 2 variants every weekend. So we're always busy. There's always something that somebody's going to like. Come check us out. See if you want to give us some money.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Yo, appreciate it again, guys. Yeah, you guys can come and check me out. I have a YouTube channel, Keep It Thorough Comics. I do every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, the Indie Spotlight Show. And every Thursday, I do the Comic Chop Up at 10 p.m. Eastern as well. What we do, we talk about nothing but comics, man, and everything to be on the lookout for, speculation books, all that good stuff that everybody's loving right now. Again, man, thanks to the guys here, Tales from the Flipside, for giving me, the opportunity to be able to jump on here, join you guys, and talk about some dope-ass books, man. I really enjoyed myself, so really, really appreciate it, guys. Again, thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you for being on the show, and then we'll definitely have to invite you again, like as soon as we get through our cycle of different guests that we're having throughout the community. And then if anyone in the audience would like to participate in Dealer Flipside, just send us a message. You can either send me a message directly or any of the panelists, and then we'll have you on, and so you can be a contestant for Dealer Flipside. So as for some final parting words, I just want to say, DC has already said that, Batman doesn't go down on Catwoman because, that she's just superheroes don't do that. But, we've also heard news that about DC saying that Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn do perform cunnilingus on each other. So the real question is, do they trip?